Hello, I'm Kelly. I'm the team leader and the front end lead, and I'm here with Carissa, the game mechanics leader, and Benjamin, the back end leader. And this is our survival game. So our project, we named it Stranded. So it's a survival text-based RPG, and like the different choices the player makes, it basically affects like their outcome and if they survive and make it all the way to the end. And this is a text-based role-playing game. So the problem was that a lot of browser-based games rely on JavaScript, but we wanted to see if we could create a project that um, only uses HTML, CSS, and PHP. And we also noticed, well, we wanted like a survival game that we could use PHP with and not like with a database. So our goal was to build a fully functional game using only PHP and HTML, CSS, and of course with no JavaScript. So the general requirements is our survival game processes player decisions through HTML, form inputs and outputs, and dynamic game states are handled through HPHP rendered HTML and CSS, and the entire experience runs without JavaScript. So we use like the form submissions as the inputs, which is like the choices that the player makes, and then the PHP for the processing that the actions and updates the session variables, and then as the output, it affects the health bars and the inventory through the CSS driven UI. So our solution is our PHP-driven design transforms static HTML forms into dynamic game controls, and the player makes the story choices through the form inputs that trigger PHP logic. Each submission alters the session variables, tracking health, inventory, and story progress. So the system then regenerates the page with updated CSS visuals. So some of our key design features is that the PHP-driven design transforms static HTML forms into like the dynamic game controls. So you're able to choose from the form, so you can either choose like the first one, which is the first choice, or the second choice, and then through that it affects the health and the inventory and how the story progresses. And then, as I mentioned before, it regenerates the page with CSS visuals.
Okay, for the PHP health management, uh, this demonstrate the core PHP concept for tracking player health by the server side testing. The system initialize, modify, and checks health value while preventing invalid state. For the key elements, persistent session variables track the health between the page reloads, boundary control, health climb to 0 to 100% and trigger the game over. Clean function like get health abstract direct session access. Function standardize health operation and prevent invalid values. Second, for the PHP inventory system, this implement a session-based inventory system that track items without database calls. It is initialized on the first visit and provide clean function for managing items. Key operation for this is auto start session and create an empty inventory array. And item management, add item to inventory to prevent duplicates and remove item from inventory to clean the array indexes. Dynamically render HTML based on the inventory contents.
All right. For CSS animation, what we did for the plane, as you will see in the first part, is there's a plane that will come from the left to right, and we basically use keyframes so that it can shake, and then basically the plane will crash, as you will see, and we basically use transform for the smooth movement, and then precise timing for like the delays and the sync with the game events. So for testing to like ensure a smooth user experience, we tested by manually playing through all the story branches to verify the health changes, inventory updates, and ending conditions. So all of us had to test through our systems. And then we also checked for broken links, misaligned UI elements, and animation glitches through different browsers like Safari and Chrome. And then we also confirmed correct choices progress the story while mistakes trigger appropriate consequences. So for the common methodology, we mainly communicate through Discord, and we talked about the storyline, the UI, the mechanics, and we talked on Discord daily, and we updated each other through voice chats, and then we also screen shared to make sure that we got the appropriate like ending for the story. And in conclusion, we successfully built an interactive survival game using only HTML, CSS, and PHP. And as I mentioned before, the common methodology we use for efficient task tracking, and then we constantly tested all the form submissions, and then we met like the project 2 requirements with no outstanding issues. So now for the demo time, Carissa will take it from here.
So as you can see, this is our homepage. It just has the title and the play button and a background. And it'll take you to the login page where you can register, but I've already registered. You can put a display name. So I'll use these. Oh, I guess I'll register. So this is the animation page. It shakes, and there's audio as well. And the next button appears. So here it starts the story, the role-playing game. So you can see the inventory is empty, it's day 1 and you crashed. There's some dialogue here. And so you look in the compartment for a medkit. You take the medkit and it'll appear in your inventory. Now you can use it on the co-pilot that's injured. And so this is the end of the first PHP page. So next, you need to find shelter. So this is a GIF, and there's also audio. So you can either pick stay near the wreckage, which would decrease your health, or explore nearby. Let's stay near the wreckage. And so it decreased by 20%. As you can see, there are 2 hearts decreased. And you sleep, that increases the health back. And you search for water. There's some audio of running water here. And you can choose the wrong choice or the right choice. We can choose the wrong choice here. So you can see it decreased by 20% again. Continue your journey. So you come across a bridge here. And the first option, it'll be a 50% chance of success. Or you can look for another way around. Or you can try to jump across, which this will decrease your health by a lot. So let's try looking for another way around. This is a neutral choice. So you continue your journey, and you need to pick one path. The one to the right might be safer, the one to the left is a shortcut. So let's try that. It decreases your health by 15%, and as you can see, this is half. Continue. And let's see the handbook. So this is just the survival handbook. So as you can see, the purple berries, this is useful for the future. This is body signals, which is useful for the future. And this is just showing the rescue point. So you go back, you look for food. So you pick either the purple or the red. And let's say you pick the red ones, which are poisonous. It'll decrease by 25. So as you can see, it's pretty low there. You sleep until morning. And this is their final day, so they need to get to the rescue point. Continue your journey. So here there is a bear. And there is a hint, kind of a hint here, that the co-pilot gives. And so the first choice will give you 75% chance of success. The second choice is what they're hinting at is the right choice. And the third one is the wrong choice. So let's say that you pick the right choice. Continue your journey. And so this is the same thing. There's a right and wrong choice. Let's say we leave the box, which is the right choice. The final stretch. So if we picked wrong choices, it would have taken us to a game over page and try again, basically. But yeah, we survived, basically. So you lie on the ground, you turn your head, and you see the helicopter. So if you pick stay lying down, you'll stay trapped there forever and it'll be game over. But let's say you get up and run toward it. And now is where the handbook comes in handy. So if you raise one arm, you'll be trapped there, which is the signal to that everything's fine and we don't need rescue. But if you raise both arms, you're saved. And you made it. And it will say your completion time, which is 4 minutes 28, and it'll say like a leaderboard if you play again. You can either play again or log out. So let's log out, and we've been logged out. But if I log back in using the ones I registered with, it will work. So yeah. And this is basically our role-playing game.
Thank you.
Thank you.